Hey, this is Reuven with another question from a subscriber to my Better Developers newsletter. This question comes from Trey, and he says that like many other Python developers, he subscribes to several different newsletters about Python each week. And each of those newsletters has a whole bunch of links in it, and he'd like to extract the links from those newsletters. He'd like to put them inside of an Excel spreadsheet of some sort. Okay, well, we're not going to get to that entire thing. That's a tall order, but I am going to try to at least show you how you can deal with some of these things. I should note, by the way, that I use Thunderbird. I use that as my mail program, and yes, it uses IMAP, and yes, it connects to my mail server out there in the cloud, as the kids like to say nowadays. But I actually do store the files on my disk, on my file system. So this solution is going to assume that you have the IMAP mailbox on your system. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to first of all say that I have this file name, and this is, I put here, the Trey answer demo, so that you don't have to see all of my email. And what I want to do is find all the links in there. So I'm going to say import mailbox. And then I can say here, for one message in mailbox.mbox, a file name. Notice, mailbox is a module that comes in the Python standard library. It has an mbox class that I can use inside of it. I'm going to create a new object of type mailbox.mbox. Going to hand it a file name, and then we're going to go through one message. And then each of those message objects, if I just print it out, I'll get the contents. I can also say one message dot, was it as string, and then I'll get a string back. I think I'd also say as byte string, but I'm not going to do that. But I can also treat it as a dictionary, and I can grab the individual headers from the message. So I can say print one message from. So here we're going to go through each of them, and you can see I set up this mailbox so that it only contains things for Python newsletters, and some of them are better and some of them are worse in terms of their naming. And I can do subjects as well. But I'm not interested in all of them. I just want to make sure that each of them has a real name. So I'm going to say here, for example, right, if one message from is none, just continue. Whoops, didn't you do that? Continue. Let's ignore that. And now we have only the real one, the good ones. So I have PyCoders Weekly, Import Python, and Python Weekly. Let's assume, and I'm not trying to play favorites here, I'm only interested in some of them. So I can say here, interesting senders equals, I can say, admin at PyCoders. We can just say pycoders.com. And let's say here, pythonweekly.com. Again, I'm not playing favorites. And then what I can do is I can go through it. I can say here, for one sender in interesting senders. And then if we can say here, one sender in one message from. Then we can say here, print, let's say one message subject. Right? And so now what we've done is we've grabbed the subjects from each of the senders that are interesting to us, and we're ignoring the other senders. Right? And just to make sure we can make this from, and you can see that indeed I've now restricted the senders. Yeah, but that's not quite enough, right? I actually want to grab the links. That was what Trey asked for, to grab the links from there. So I'm going to use regular expressions, right? And so if you're not familiar with regular expressions, this might seem a little weird, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the message and say one message as string. That's going to return a string. I'm going to grab all the links from it. I'm going to say here, all links, or let's say, let's just do one link in re find all of, and I'm going to say HTTPS that. And then we're going to grab everything that's like \w dot slash percent minus plus. Now, what the heck does this mean? It means I'm going to look through our message for anything that looks like HTTP, optional S, :/ and then any combination of letters, numbers, underscore, dot, slash, and percent. And let's hope that that will actually be a lot of stuff. So let's do this. I'm going to say here, let's actually print the subject. Right, so print one message subject, and then I'm going to print. Actually, I'm going to do this way with an F string. No. Here we go. Let's just do an F of tab and one link. That should do it. And now it's going to go through each of these, and look at that! I found all of the links in each of these messages. Pretty snazzy and pretty great. Now you can see that in some of these cases it didn't really work exactly right. Some of these are not actually legitimate links, and that's because basically, probably my regular expression is off a little bit, or the message is off a little bit. Maybe I need to be grabbing it from the text version, not the HTML version, and so on and so forth. What I can do is make it a little better. I can say that at the end it has to have either letter number or a slash. Let's see if that maybe makes it a little better. Not necessarily, right? You can see here schema.org of, right? So it's not always going to work the right way, but and maybe we have to say that it has to have a dot in there somewhere. So I'm going to say here, and you can play with these regular expressions. I'm absolutely not trying to come up with the definitive regular expression syntax here, but maybe this will make it a little better. All right. So, and we can, sorry, we have to do a plus here as well. All right. So this will be at least hopefully a little bit better. Let's assume that these are the actual links, and that's a big assumption. You're going to want to fix this regular expression. Now that I've got these, what I want to do is stick them somewhere. And I don't want the same link more than once. So what I can do is say here, all links equals a set. A set. And a set is sort of like the keys of a dictionary. Those are guaranteed to be unique. So what I can do now is I can say here, all links.add of one link. And now if I say here, print all links, it'll look terrible. But at the end here, I'm going to get this long set of all the links that we had. Whoa, that's quite a set. And it guarantees that those are going to be unique. Well, let's just say that I want to put those into an Excel file, sort of like what Trey was asking for. Well, my favorite way to create Excel files is with Pandas. So I can say import Pandas as PD, and then I always like to say from Pandas import series and a data frame. So here's what I'm going to do. I am actually going to turn this into a series, my all links into a series, and use that to create a data frame, a one-column data frame, and then I can turn that data frame into an Excel file. So I'm going to say here, df equals a data frame. I guess I don't even need the series at this point, truth be told. And I'm going to say here links, colon, and we're going to say here list of all links. You can't give a set to a data frame. I'm going to get rid of this printing. And it's going to think. Here we go. It's printed out lots of stuff. And now if I say show me df.head, look at that. I've got my links. Yeah, but what if I want an Excel file? I can say here df.toExcel. Say here my data.xls. And it saves it. And now I can say open my data.xls. That's like a combination of a Jupyter and a Mac thing. Open it up, and I'm going to get, here we go. See, I've got my links right there inside of my file. I can do that as many times as I want to. Here we go. All right, so if I open it up again, I will get my data. Oops, there we go. All right, so you can see here that this is one relatively easy way for me to store the data. Now, what else could I do? What else do I want to do with this? Well, we would probably want to follow the links to find out where they resolve to, where they're redirected to, and then so that we can find, once we find out where they're redirected to, then we can get the destination URL and store that. Because at the end of the day, you can see that all the PyCoders links are pycoders.com something. Now the import Python links are going to be importpython.com something. That's just the way most mailing lists work. And the requests library does actually allow you to resolve and look further into it. Truth be told, I tried an earlier version of this video, and that gets insanely complicated. Another thing is you need to make sure that the links you're getting are not just like links to the actual site itself. Like links going to pycoders.com are not interesting to me, but links that pycoders.com points to are. So differentiating between those can be a little complicated. A third thing is, how do you know what the title is that's associated with a link? Because you'll want to see that in your eventual spreadsheet. That's complicated too. So I'm not saying this is a perfect solution, but it's not a bad stab at it. I would say if you're interested in doing something like this, that's fine, but you're probably going to want to check the dates also, so you can just stick. I would have, like on Thunderbird, which as I said I use, I would have an automatic system. Like I would have a filter that moves all things into my Python newsletter folder, and then I could run this program once a week, and it would only look at those links that I got in the last week. Check the date and check the relative dates there. So perfect solution to what Trey wanted? No. Not a bad stab, though, for a few minutes of Python coding. And I think it also shows that knowing how to use a lot of these libraries, and the standard library and on PyPI, the combination, allows you to write relatively little code to do quite a bit. All right, so thanks for the question. If you have questions or comments about this or anything else, you can contact me via email at reuven@learner.co.il or on Twitter as @ReuvenMLearner. And of course, my free weekly Python newsletter is Better Developers, and you can get to it at learner.co.il/newsletter. Thanks for watching, and I hope to See you again in the near future with more questions.